Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to talk about my top 5 breakout players for 2021. And you know what? I couldn't keep the list to 5, so you get a bonus. Top 5 plus 1 breakout players for your fantasy football drafts in 2021. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave a reply down below with who are your breakout players. I'm going to define breakout players as this: players that have an ADP in the top 10 rounds of a draft, who are already have a profile in the league, and they're going to do better than what people are drafting them as. Sleepers, we're going to do another video for sleepers, for your fantasy football sleepers for 2021. Those are guys drafted rounds 11 plus, ADPs of 11 plus. So drop me a link or drop me a reply down below with who your breakout players are. Guys in the top 10 rounds that you think are going to outperform. Let's get it.
He's a legend.
This great promo that we have been running for rotowire.com is still running. It's going to be running until week 2 of NFL season. So get in while you can. Absolutely free 10 days subscription to rotowire.com. All sports, all access, 10 absolutely free days. I can't do better than free, guys. Free is like the top. That's it. I can't make them pay you to go use the link that's right down below in the pinned comment with rotowire.com/smizzle. Go click it, go visit the sites, and support the people that support this channel. Let's get on to our first player on the list, who's not there, but we'll talk about him. That's not the first player that's supposed to be on the list, but he's here, so I'm going to go after him. Darnell Mooney got an ADP of 88. He is the wide receiver. He's the 83rd wide receiver being taken in drafts. Apparently, I turned into Sylvester the Cat from Looney Tunes there for a second. This dude has a path to success right now because there are vacated targets out there. Anthony Miller had 73 targets. He's gone. So while there is a target monster up top on this team that's going to take up a lot of usage with Allen Robinson, who we all know about and obviously is there, Darnell Mooney has a path to getting over 100 targets this season. And with his with his skill set, you know, he was a deep play threat in college. He was a deep play threat last year. He was missed a lot last year. This is going to get some people upset, but Trubisky and Foles are not as good as Andy Dalton. They aren't. They're not as good as Andy Dalton. And in my opinion, I think that Fields is better for fantasy impact, even though I believe that at this point in their careers, Dalton is a better thrower than Fields. In terms of overall fantasy impact on an offense, I think Fields is better than Dalton. So it only is going to keep getting better. It's better than it was last year. His volume will improve. His quarterback play will improve. And when the team switches to Fields, I believe that his numbers are going to improve even further than they will under Dalton because of how safeties are going to have to hold and how linebackers are going to have to hold when there's a threat to run. And now he can run those nines all day and get down the sideline and run those posts and get those outs and those digs and basically get the ball and scoot, which is what Darnell Mooney does best. I have no idea what order I put these in, so let's find out who's next. Your guess is as good as mine. Apparently it's Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy with an ADP of 56 right now on Underdog Fantasy, the 26th wide receiver taken. And look, I know there's already going to be people in the reply guys are coming. Jerry Jeudy drops the ball too much. So stop worrying about that. Worry about how much separation a guy can get. Worry about what somebody can do after the catch. And Jerry Jeudy is elite at both of those things. Last year, 113 targets as a rookie. 42 of his 113 targets were deemed uncatchable. In terms of CPOE, which is completion percentage over expectation, Drew Lock was 40th in the league. Teddy Bridgewater's not that good. Oh, look what he did. Teddy sucks. And this metric, he's not good. And he's not good at throwing downfield. You know what he's good at? CPOE. Teddy Bridgewater was 8th in the league. So, one, I think that he's going to get more targets this year. Jerry Jeudy should accelerate into the 125 to 140 range on the season in terms of overall targets, because he profiles as that sort of receiver. He also excels in after the catch, which is where most of Teddy Bridgewater's yards came from last year. And if you figure that he's not going to get like 35+% of his targets be uncatchable like last year, he's going to convert those increased target numbers into catches. And whether you're playing half PPR or full PPR, that's going to boost his numbers. So his current ADP is mostly based on A, people reacting, well, he drops the ball too much. B, these were his numbers last year. What I look at is this is a second-year wide receiver with an elite pedigree, with a much better quarterback situation and increasing targets, something that we need to do. Like I said in the draft strategies video, targets. Jerry Jeudy's going to get all that he can handle, and they should be way more catchable than last season. With his profile, he could improve. Our next player on the list is MARQUEZ CALLAWAY. There's nobody else there for at least half the season. Right now in New Orleans, and I hope that everybody in New Orleans is safe. I'm glad that DraftKings is doing a fundraiser tournament during this weekend's golf to try and raise money for relief funds for the hurricane that's going on down there in the Gulf. So, like, hope everybody, all my viewers that are down there around Louisiana, hope you guys are safe, stay dry, do what you can. The Saints are going to be on the road for all of their home games. They're going to play those games as scheduled, just they're going to play them somewhere else. But MARQUEZ CALLAWAY with an ADP of 105 as the wide receiver 53, and that has skyrocketed. He was being drafted at like 150 before. He is now a top 10 round draft pick. Michael Thomas is injured. We know. He pulled a Scottie Pippen. He didn't get surgery until like right before. Oh yeah, I'm going to go get this surgery in July. Good job, dude. So he's on the PUP list right now, which means he is out at least 6 weeks. Can't play for the first 6 weeks of the season. People are expecting him to not be able to be back until weeks 8 or 9 anyway. That leaves half a season's worth as the alpha target in this New Orleans offense, with absolute fantasy-friendly gunslinger Jameis Winston under center. And like I said, there's just nobody else there. All apologies to Traquan Smith, but he's not going to soak up 25% of the market share of targets in any offense. That's just not in his locker. He's the secondary guy. Callaway is going to be that guy for a quarterback who likes to throw it all over the place. The other guy that they have there is very small, SMOL, like Deontay Harris. He's like Jakeem Grant. He's a 5'7" kick returner, special teams type guy. So MARQUEZ CALLAWAY is really the only guy. And I still don't think that he's being drafted high enough based on the current role that he has on this Saints team. Apparently I didn't click the person that I wanted to click here. So we're going to go on to Rondale Moore. Now, I said I normally don't have rookies on this list, but this rookie is filling in for an absolute seasoned veteran and basically taking over that role. Rondale Moore in this Cardinals offense, and you guys know how I feel about Kyler Murray. I think that he has a tendency or has the possibility to take a leap here in his third year in terms of efficiency and pass output. Rondale Moore can get downfield, but right now he's being utilized in that Larry Fitzgerald role in the slot. Last year, Larry Fitzgerald got 6 targets a game over the games that he was healthy for. And Rondale Moore, all apologies to Larry Fitzgerald, but I think that he would agree that right now Rondale Moore is more explosive in 2021 than Larry Fitzgerald was in 2020. So you get the ball into this kid's hands very easily. You're talking about 4 or 5 catches a game. They're also going to probably script in some designed runs for him, which means that Rondale Moore is going to come out of the gate producing really good numbers. His ADP right now is 106th on Underdog Fantasy, the 54th wide receiver being taken. You have an amazing floor here with the amount of targets that we're going to expect from him on a week in, week out basis. And again, these are easily convertible targets into catches. And when you factor in his big playability, his ability to get deep on routes, and his ability to take screen passes when getting the ball in space and turn those into big gains because of his skill set, it's basically what he did in college all the time. We have the probability of a big time breakout year as a rookie, which is something that I normally avoid, but that, it's not what I plan for. But Rondale Moore was too good and too good of a projection here. Too much, too many targets, too much usage. from jump for me to avoid him on a breakouts list. The next guy here, how could I not mention Logan Thomas? He's being drafted right now, and his ADP is up. He was being drafted all draft season as the tight end 9. Right now, he is the tight end 7, ADP of 88. Hopefully, you loaded up before the price went up, because the price has risen. But of all these tight ends that are being drafted outside of the 3 elite guys, the 3 elite guys being Kelsey and Waller and Kittle, to me, in that order. I have Waller above Kittle on my list. So, basically, Logan Thomas is the one guy I think could break into that top 3 by the end of the season. You're done throwing stuff at the screen? Okay. I think Logan Thomas has the ability and the profile this season to actually have an opportunity to be a top 3 tight end on the season. Because, A, they paid him. They just invested a longer term contract in him. B, he led the league in terms of routes run per quarterback drop back in 2020. More than Kelsey, more than Kittle, more than Waller. If he's on the field, he's out there to catch passes. That's how they utilize this guy. He's out there to be in the route. And they have now a quarterback there in Washington who has been an elevator of talent for all the guys around him. Logan Thomas could burst into the stratosphere of those top 3 tight ends by the end of the season. Again, all these projections for me are based on them staying healthy for the entirety of the 17 games this year. But his role should be unchanged from what it was last year. And now the team has shown and proved more confidence in him. Logan Thomas, definitely one of my breakout players for 2021. Last guy on the list is maybe the most obvious guy on the list, and it's Gus Edwards. With the J.K. Dobbins injury vacating all of those carries, all of those catches, and all of those snaps on the one offense that is surefire to produce a lot of volume, a lot of opportunity, Gus Edwards is stepping into maybe the number 1 0 running back spot because of the injury, the unfortunate injury to J.K. Dobbins. Could easily top 1,000 yards. His ADP right now is rising. I don't know what to peg his ADP at because it's changed constantly since the Dobbins injury a few days ago. He should be drafted around the running back 20 spot in your drafts. Whether you have him as a running back 18, whether you have him as a running back 23. Wherever you have him, that's fine. Right? As long as it's in that range. But if you were really high on J.K. Dobbins, I don't believe that Gus Edwards is as talented as J.K. Dobbins is as a pure athlete, as a pure running back. But running back is one position where talent is not as important as opportunity. If you get a ton of carries, and Gus Edwards has not been a guy who has caught a lot of balls over his NFL career. It's just not been utilized as that type of guy. But like now that he's thrust into the number 1 role, I expect him to catch more balls this season than he ever has before. I'm not thinking a lot, not like 50 or 60. I'm thinking like 25 to 35 catches over the course of the entire season. He's not going to be a guy who helps you all that much in PPR with his pass catching or his route running or any of those things. But a chance for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns as an RB20 is something that you just can't ignore. And if you are high on drafting J.K. Dobbins, you should also be high on drafting Gus Edwards. And what happens to most people is when that injury occurs, you know, if they were drafting J.K. Dobbins as a 3rd rounder, they say, well, Gus Edwards isn't as good as J.K. Dobbins. I agree with you there on pure talent, but on opportunity, he's going to get all those J.K. Dobbins opportunities and should be drafted right around that same range, if not maybe like half a round lower. So he's the guy that is probably going to outperform where he's currently being drafted, which is like the 5th round. He is probably going to produce 3rd round numbers for a running back. So he could outperform that RB20 spot very, very easily. Thank you guys for watching. That's my 5+1 breakout players for 2021. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a reply, click all the damn things, and then watch another video right there.
He's a legend.